In this video, I wanted to share with you how I make my wax rubbing collage papers using items primarily found from the Dollar Tree. You will need crayons. The bigger the better. I actually thrifted these. They look like the jumbo ones. I've read some reviews about the newer jumbo crayons not being very high quality, but the ones that I thrifted seem to work really great. You can also use normal crayons in whatever color you would like. You will need construction paper in various colors. You will need 3D stickers from the Dollar Tree. They have a lot of different types that you can choose from. I buy multiples of the same one so that I can apply it to the paper all at one go instead of 4 times because they're very thin and long. Some of them work better than others. I thought that these heart ones were going to work really well, and it turned out they just left mostly dot markings, not heart shape markings. So I was kind of bummed about those, but that's okay. The other ones are really great. So this one ends up looking more like this in the end. I used cardboard to create this texture, just any kind of cardboard I found lying around the house. This design, ignore the orange areas, but this section was made from this sticker. This design was made from these ones. Very interesting. Not what I expected, but I like it nonetheless. Very cool pattern. And I think my favorite so far is the stars, which obviously makes this one. So super cool. And what I love about this one in particular and the round one is that I can use this as a large scale print or pattern and also use these individual markings as little tiny detailed features. So like these circles work really well as for eyeballs, or I ended up making teeth marks for my jack-o'-lanterns candy baskets out of these marks that were a little bit more jagged looking in my other print that I made. I ended up making pieces of this. Where is it? I guess it depends on how much pressure you apply on what kind of marks you get, but basically these look like little hands. Ended up being perfect for her little hands in this little collage I did. And this was just using the exact same print as the stars. But as you can tell from here, you can't see that it's a star pattern necessarily, but it leaves great texture and patterns nonetheless. And in this one, I just tore the pieces of paper and made more of an intuitive collage design of a girl looking sideways with her hands on her hips, wearing kind of a vintage hat, used a little piece of the star symbol as a little flourish on her hat. I think it worked really well. I loved how the edges looked really soft and feathery, but for the Halloween piece I made, it is all cut. The other things I use are these Dresden foil pieces. They're so gorgeous. I use these for a lot of different things. I bought these on eBay through Tinsel Trading Company. They're a little over $5, I think, for this set. There's a lot more birds that come with this. This is an entire alphabet. You can get this in silver and or gold. So this is what the alphabet looks like. I just love how I can use this as a vertical texture or a horizontal one. I liked how this turned out, and I used it in the sign above the little shop in the Halloween collage. And I think it turned out pretty cool. I also used it in the hat design on one of the little kid Halloween characters. And it turned out really well too. The skeleton faces are actually a rubbing of one of these smaller pieces, and they didn't turn out very well. But then I kept looking at them and I was like, well, those look like little faces and they look kind of like scary, so that's what kind of prompted me to do the skeleton scary character faces. So that was kind of cool. The plants I did in the background are from the from the plants on these. And then obviously the bird is in the sky. I do realize that I should have probably used some sort of bat. It is a Halloween scene, but I didn't have a bat. And I really wanted to try to use these because they are so fun. Here's another example of the star print and that circular print from these stickers on a darker shade. They work really well on any color. There are these stickers as well. I thought these were going to turn out really well, and I just ended up not liking the print very much. And also they didn't really speak to me with a theme that I was working with, so that's okay. But for somebody else's project, this might work really well, and you know, you can just cut out around it, and so you wouldn't have all this interference texture going on, and you can still see it's quite pretty. But this was just a really quick rubbing. I wasn't even trying to make it perfect or anything. I have not tried these ones yet. But I was going to give it a go. I thought it was really interesting to try to maybe use a different alphabet made out of the stickers as well. So basically maybe we'll start on this side so it's easier. I line it up with my paper on the edge, and I just kind of hold it down. And then I try to wear one side of the crayon down so that it's more flat. And obviously that'll just take a little bit of time to do so. And then I just, you know, get grip on the paper and where I can feel the texture happening. And then I just start rubbing. I go in circles. If I can't see certain details, it usually helps to pick up more of the detailed texture. Sometimes I have to angle down a little bit to just hit the sticker pieces a little bit more. So this is definitely doing it. As you can see here, there was a couple that were missed. So I'm just going in there and being careful to rub all of those sections. And this is just regular construction paper. You can get it at the dollar store. You can get it anywhere. I got mine from my local craft store. But I noticed on my last trip at the Dollar Tree, they actually had the exact same kind. It was just a lesser amount of sheets per package. You probably don't want to try this with cardstock because it's too thick to render a really good rubbing. Sometimes your paper will shift. You just have to reline it up. Sometimes it kind of creates a cool effect too, though, if you have like that right there. It doubled up because I shifted a little bit. Kind of leaves a cool texture if that's what you're wanting. If that's not what you're wanting, just make sure to line your paper back up and keep going. And the beauty of this is that it's very cheap materials. You can just keep making them if you need to remake it. All right, so there you go. I think you get the idea of what that would look like. So that's really interesting. So what I like about these alphabet ones is that even if they don't seem super legible, you can use them in more of an abstract way. Like if you want it to look more like an aged graffiti building or something like that. Maybe this particular looking font wouldn't lend itself to that, but it just gives you the idea of what you could use it for. If you wanted it to look like an older neighborhood and dilapidated fencing that has all these posters on it or something like that. I didn't buy multiples of these ones yet because I wanted to test them out first. Okay, so this is that kind of round with multiple little round ones. And you can kind of feel where it is at underneath the paper. Oh, so this looks like really similar to my other round one, but just the small bits, of course. And I kind of like these little tiny bits too. They lend a really nice pattern. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. On to the next. So these kind of look like little flowers almost. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to angle this down a little bit. No. Maybe it's just not going to work the way I was hoping. This is why I'm testing them out, make sure there's something I actually want to use in my work. Well, that's kind of cool though, if I'm going sideways like that. Interesting. See, you can't always tell what the pattern is going to look like from just looking at the product. You got to really test it out. Sometimes it'll really surprise you. Maybe that could be like the side of a building. Interesting. Not what I expected from something that looks like flowers. This one also looks like flowers, but it has some zigzag elements going through it. And be careful of this. I was pushing hard to keep that stabilized up here, and it's made little indentations. I don't know if you can see it, but I would probably just do the same thing on each sheet to maximize my design to pull from and know exactly where it's at. Ooh! Okay, come on. We can do it. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I love this. And with each one, you're probably going to have to like take some time and figure out what style of rubbing is going to work best, what kind of pressure you're applying. And like right here, I'm having to go in a little bit harder and make sure I'm getting all those little details because I want those to show up because that's what makes it look so unique and really interesting. I think this would look really great on like some clothing or wallpaper, or like wallpaper design in the back of a room if you're going to do a room collage, or maybe a bedspread, any kind of textile. And I'm doing this in a rush, obviously, because I'm just trying to show you. So I would take better care, not be so harsh on these other sections, but I'm just trying to get a basic texture down here for you. But it is a little bit muddier than I would normally deal with. Let's try real quick because I've actually only been playing with the black crayon. Let's try. Like I said, I'm gonna tape all these together so that I can make bigger pieces in the future, like I did with the star one. I just haven't gone there yet. I want to try a different color on this piece because like I said, I've only done it with the, let's do red. And you know what? I feel like this is so naughty, but I gotta take off the paper. I just used the knife to slice it open real quick. All right, so there's a much better surface to be working with. Oop. Little shards everywhere. And I haven't even used this size or anything, so I'm hoping they work as well. But it's a little bit harder to hold on. Ooh. And this one doesn't have a flat edge yet, so it's going to be a little bit more cumbersome. I just had a really good idea. What if we did multiple colors? I haven't even considered this yet because I've been working so simplistically, just having fun with it. But holy cow, you can mix all sorts of different colors. So I love red and pink together, and I love pink and orange together. So let's try, and what if it's offset, like it's not registered correctly? Could add even more dimension. Oh my god. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, I love this. What if I went back in with black? It's interesting. I think it would look better with black and just one color, like the black, orange, and pink would look really good. I'm not super happy with this red, to be honest. It looks quite fuchsia-y, pinky almost. Which one was that? That was the violet red. That would be why. Okay, I picked the wrong one. Here's red. Also, right now is the time to be going and getting these crayons and things because it's the back to school season. And I literally found this 24 crayon set for 50 cents. So, pretty good deal. Get them while you can. So this really makes me think, with using multiple colors, makes me kind of think about Impressionistic painters and how they would use multiple colors and to create a specific tone. It's really, really intriguing idea to use it like this. Let's try this red over again. Oh, much better. Love that combination. Gonna really have to start rubbing these down. Like I said, they're brand new, so. Yes! So cool. So cool. Love it. All right, so you can get as messy or clean as you want with this. You could tape this down and then tape this down over it if you needed to. I kind of like the more grungy aspects of this project, and so I lean into that, and it's crayons. Like, they're gonna look like crayons, and that's kind of the beauty of it. If all of your composition looks like this kind of texture and crayons, then it looks cohesive, no matter how kind of messy or grunge it is. So, and like, the larger the items, the cleaner it looks. Like, obviously this is kind of patchworked because, you know, how they come. They come in the little slender pieces, and I did not tape this one. So it was just literally me moving it into different sections. But I love this. I think this would work really well for some item that you're wanting to create for your collage. For the beards of the characters, I just, again, took my crayon and made little markings until I was satisfied, and then I cut it out. I did want it as dark as I could get it. And like I said, cut it out and then just use them as elements. The hats I just freehand cut out as well. There are different styles of the Dresden foils if you're interested. They have a lot of different seasonal items and also different animals and things like that. So go give a Tinsel Trading Company a look on eBay. They have a lot of beautiful items. It's not just Dresden foils. They have a lot of haberdashery accessories and flourishes and things like that. It's really, really cool. If you liked this tutorial, give it a thumbs up. I will be sharing some more insights that I've learned on these projects and on making my own collage papers. I think it's super fun. I'm super stoked about Halloween this year. I have a lot of ideas on things to make and DIYs to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.